Hey guys, and welcome to our review for Aquaman, directed by James Wan, starring Jason Momoa, Amber Heard, Nicole Kidman.
Sorry, continue.
Nicole Kidman, Willem Dafoe, among others, Dolph Lundgren. My name is Scott Ellis. I'm joined here by Phil Clark.
How's it going, guys? It's been a while.
Glad to have you.
It has been a while.
Also joining us is Tyler Switolski.
Hey guys, it's been a while.
No, you're here all
I
the
don't know what
time.
that's all about. Also joining us is Adam Franey.
I'm hyped. We got Aquaman.
Get hype.
DC.
Jeez.
Aquaman. We
Yay.
got
Don't
Jason
care.
Momoa returning as Arthur Curry, who's learned of his birthright, become the king of Atlantis. Some people want him to be the king of Atlantis, and hijinks ensue, as they say.
You're not wrong, Scott.
Ty, let's jump over to you.
Oh.
What do you think about Aquaman as the resident DC hater? Is that true?
I don't like the word hate, but yeah, DC hater.
This seems up your alley, though.
Yeah.
Is that true or?
That's fair to say.
That's fair to say.
That's fair to say.
Colorful action.
Yeah.
The colors
colors are vivid.
Oof, there was a lot of colors. It was. Some might say too many colors.
Oh,
Some might say that.
Some might say that.
Is
I
that
would.
possible though? For
I
you?
think there was the right amount of colors for a pretty good movie.
Ooh.
Pretty good.
For a pretty good movie.
pretty good.
Excuse me.
DC
Yeah.
lover.
No.
So
No.
DC lover now.
They have a lot of making up to do.
That
Okay.
sounds like two pretty good movies they've made in Ty Switolski's eyes.
It's true. I
you
will
like Wonder Woman?
I loved Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
You love it.
I loved Wonder Woman.
Love.
Shit. And you didn't love this.
No, I'm on the fence about this. I went in there thinking like, well, what I normally do about a DC movie is like, it's probably going to be shit. You know, they
Jason
just keep,
Momoa's charisma.
yeah, Jason Momoa has a lot of charisma.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot of, he brings a lot to the table to the character, which I think is a lot of his own, which I think is great.
Were you there when we saw him in that Q&A?
Oh yeah,
Brings a little Khal Drogo to it.
and I like that.
That's how he is in real
And
life.
so, but yeah, this was a really good movie. They did very well.
Very well.
The fact that it's funny you guys should mention the colors is I think that was incredible that they did that because
Really?
it's kind of I think it's kind of separating them from the darkness and all that other crap that
Yes.
they've had in the past.
CG Rain.
Yes,
Pretty dark underwater, though.
It's pretty dark underwater, but they countered that with a lot of color.
A lot of color.
So I think
Those,
it was
it was that undersea vision, you know, and
oh
they're
yeah,
showing if you're
you can
Yeah,
see
it does.
an
They're
Atlantean, you
Atlantean.
can see underwater and you see all the colors.
Your eyes adjust. You can see all the
Right.
colors. So, but this was, this was a good movie.
What did you like about it specifically besides the
respect the
colors?
objectivity.
It
Well,
was fun, or what was it?
There was a lot of fun to it. I think that they took a lot from the failures that a lot of their other movies have had. They brought it, out when they were out on land in certain parts. It wasn't like dark and brooding. It was, they were in Italy and it was sunny.
It was sun.
It was a vacation
Well, it
spot.
was sunny.
And it felt
Buongiorno.
like it. Yeah, exactly. It was nice.
It was.
100% shot on green screen.
Yeah,
You know that?
Sicily?
Allegedly.
It was like 300.
Really?
Yeah. Pretty interesting.
Very interesting.
Didn't even tell.
I thought they did it on some island. Like it looked
Interesting.
nice. But I'm just gonna keep holding this mug here as I keep talking. But yeah,
Really?
they did.
It's right on the nose.
They did very well though. I think the one thing that really bugged me about the movie
he's
was
putting the mug down.
I need
Here we
both
go.
hands to do this.
Whoa.
Here we go.
It was a lot of the some of the design that was underwater. I wasn't a huge fan of, like for a lot of the creatures that were there and stuff like that. Like the
creature design, no likey.
the battle seahorse dragons that they had.
You didn't like that.
I didn't like the armor that they had. Like they made them look kind of goofy. Like
You thought the seahorse battle dragons were goofy.
yes, weirdly enough.
Huh.
Like and I get it. They're underwater. Like I get that, but
Dr. Evil would have loved this movie.
he would have. They had freaking sharks with laser beams attached to their head, and like they would have loved it.
You telling me you don't love that?
What about the octopus playing the bongos?
That was bizarre to me. Like not
That's
only
apparently a character, like a legitimate
character,
from Aquaman.
because it's weird to me that like they have these like sure animals that you can control by talking to them and stuff like that, or like being able to talk to them, but then just having like an octopus that has like the cerebral sort of understanding to play the drums or the rhythm, like
It's a smart
That's where you
octopus.
draw the line.
Yeah, like to me that was just weird. Like it
Okay.
kind of took me out of it a little bit.
Really?
But
You've seen Thor Ragnarok, right?
yes, I have.
Okay.
But
Have you seen it
I'm
underwater though? Yes.
anyways,
You have now.
but yeah, that like other than that, like there was just a couple little nitpicks that I had like that. But other than that, I did like
You enjoyed it?
Yeah, most of the film. Yeah,
Thomas
Alright.
Witalski.
What did you think about the performances?
performances I thought were pretty. Like I don't know,
Amber
Amber
Heard?
Heard was a little off in my
Mm.
opinion, and that's me. That's
Weird.
my non-biased
Weird that you would say
opinion.
that.
Weird that
Non-biased.
Johnny
It's
Depp fan club member.
she seems almost wooden in some parts of it. Like when she
I
like
think so.
when you first like meet her, like it seemed like she just like there was no sort of
Acting ability.
no, it was
You know
like
what?
more situational. More there was
hold,
no
on, hold on to that thought. I'm gonna touch on that.
You
Adam,
jumping in?
let's jump over to you, Adam.
Oh,
I want to get
Oh,
your thought.
moi.
Yes.
Let me dip my toe in the water.
urgency. That was the word.
We'll get
yeah.
to that. Trust me, I'll follow up on that.
Aquaman.
How do you follow that?
How do
Awkward
I follow
man.
that? Awkward man. Ah.
How do you follow that awkward man?
I thought that this movie was bad.
Entitled Aquaman. Okay.
Bad.
Pretty bad. I did not like this movie.
So you got very good. You got bad.
I can't entirely say it was shit. I'll give you that.
Okay.
No
You're-
BBS.
I'm not.
The threshold.
I'm not the spokesperson for DC now.
I'll
You don't have to
give
look
you
at me when
that.
you say that. It's like all DC movies are
DC,
great.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I thought there was some good to be had in this movie.
Okay.
Look at you.
Not much, but there was some good things.
Ooh.
First of all,
Elaborate.
Break it down for us.
I hated Nicole Kidman and Aquaman's dad in their house on the
Laura
lighthouse.
Morrison. Yeah.
Yeah, Django Fett. I hate
Clone
it.
Trooper number 4.
Some of the most distracting de-aging I've ever seen. I
Really?
did. Yeah,
Interesting.
hated it. I was like,
That's what you hated.
why does this guy have? Oh no, baby steps.
This is
I'm
the
getting it.
lowest in
Really?
the totem
That's,
pole.
that's what
I'm
shook
going
you?
chronologically.
Okay.
Full head of hair.
Like
Full head of
wig,
hair.
yeah.
like CG face, but bad, like not Marvel style.
Yeah.
I'm like, why does this guy look like this? Looks like a Ken doll or something. Like, what the fuck is happening?
He must have been handsome in his youth.
And then, you know, Nicole Kidman in her like white, like Fisher Price, like weird cheap costume.
Yeah, I didn't like the look
I'm
of
like,
it.
this is a $200 million movie. This fucking thing looks fake. Like it looks like like I don't even know. I don't know what it's supposed to be made of, but I'm just like, it looks fake. I hated the weird shutter like spin cam when she's like fighting off the water suit Power Ranger villain
You
guys.
didn't like the spin cam?
No,
Actually, there's a lot of spin cam in this.
I thought it looked
Too
cheap.
much.
It just looks cheap.
I thought it was visually a lot different from if you
It's
think
different.
about Batman v Superman and Justice League and
Yeah.
how
I'm
this
with you
movie's
there.
so
I didn't.
bright.
I didn't hate that.
I didn't hate it either. I thought it was interesting.
I didn't
It was
hate it.
nauseating.
I will agree. It was nauseating because they did it, in my opinion, too much.
Like every fight,
Yeah.
I think.
Like if you had done it like at key parts, just like as like a reminder that they are fighting underwater, like
James
the-
Wan's like, well, I don't really do fighting in movies. Let me just literally like he has the camera on like a big wheel or something and like spins
Yeah.
it.
They,
spins
I mean,
it
they
and then
probably-
sends it over.
They probably did the look. You just worry about the story.
Yeah.
We'll
You
do
think
the
they did the
action.
Marvel?
They did the Marvel.
Oh, DC.
Don't worry about the action
I
scenes,
hope DC
James.
doesn't do that. Marvel does it well, but yeah, I hated like the villains' looks. They all looked like Power Rangers, like the TV show. Like I could think Power Rangers. Like when that big one's like running and busting through the walls in that like, again, these suits with the water on their face. Hated that. What else did I hate? Anything above water, I think I hated.
So you
Yeah.
loved everything below the water.
Loved. Honestly, 6
It's
out
a
of
love
5.
hate. It's a love hate.
The underwater stuff I liked more. Definitely didn't love it. Don't you dare. But I anything dry because I hated the submarine scene as well when he was like going through and killing the pirates and like spoiler
Yeah.
whatever happens
You're
there.
treading on
Opening
spoiler
sequence.
water.
Sure.
Black Manta's origin something, Black Manta being born, or however you want to say it. Just like super overacting. Like, I think Stuckman said it was like live action anime, but he said that as like a good thing. Just thought super cringe. And then that scene on the boat when those like goblin fish things are attacking them, I did like that. It was James Wan brought his like horror skills to the table.
That visual
trench?
with the flare as they're like,
Yes,
that was really cool.
that was like my favorite shot, arguably.
That was like in the trailer.
That was in
It
the
was
trailer,
in the
and I loved it
trailer.
in the trailer too.
Yeah.
I did not like the oversaturated like green screen Phantom Menace, like over compositing and like super saturated colors. They just look like digital or like fake or something. Like didn't look like natural light or like natural color.
Mm-hmm.
Like the water is like ice neon bright blue, like eye melting blue.
That's just what the Atlanteans see, though.
Is that what it
Because
is?
of
I've
their-
never
it
seen
has
it.
to be.
That's what it is.
Because
Like,
of
think
their
about it.
super special vision.
Think about it. If you go down more
Okay,
than like
right.
a few, like a couple, like maybe 50 meters or something,
Mm.
maybe let's say 100 meters, it's like pitch black.
It is
Yeah.
pitch black.
It's pitch black. So you're not gonna shoot.
Sick.
They're not just gonna be in pitch black.
2.5 hours of just black screen.
Why
So
not?
they had to do something just to
Right.
counter that. But yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like that.
it wasn't gonna look realistic, is what I'm saying.
Right.
No matter what you do.
That's true. But I like the flare shot that you're talking about. I thought it
Mhm.
looked amazing. And we'll get to it in spoilers, but the positives I'll say were the last half an hour. I thought they really went balls out, and like I got what was promised and what was being like advertised and talked about on Twitter and like the positive reviews. How they're saying this movie goes balls out, like it's insane, they commit. I didn't think they really did commit for the first 2 hours. Like I thought it was like very, very half in, half out.
Safe.
Yeah, they played it a little too safe. I was
Yeah.
like, when does this get like really crazy and weird? But I love the last half hour. I'll say it. I did love the climax. It was like,
Right.
like George Lucas's wet dream or something. Like just, but on point CG and just crazy war, like insane underwater war. I did love all that just for like entertainment's sake. But
So overall,
it's not a good movie.
it was pretty like this for you.
Yeah.
There were some things you liked and some more things you didn't like.
Yeah, very uneven.
Okay.
A lot more that I didn't like, in fact.
Well, let's jump over to you, Phil. What are your thoughts on Aquaman?
Aquaman.
Yeah.
I had a great time at this movie.
A great time was
Great
had
time was had,
by Phil.
but not for the reasons that anybody intended.
Oh.
Unintentionally funny.
Unintentionally just cringe. Some of the worst dialogue I've heard in a superhero movie for a long time.
I will agree.
I
like-
can't disagree.
like bad.
Do you have a go-to?
The pinnacle was when he's explaining to Mara how the Black Manta was created
Uh-oh.
and lists the steps of things that occurred in the movie that we've just watched. And we can get more to it in spoilers, so I can
Yeah.
tell you exactly what he says.
Oh,
but,
there's exposition. Out
but
there
like
a
he's
lot, too.
literally like,
Yeah.
it's this, and then 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 that. Now you're in danger. It's like, yeah, I know all that. Like I'm here watching this. And I understand that's what's happened.
We also got to this
Why
point.
are you it seemed like every time a character was talking, they were saying what was happening, and I was like, I know what's happening. I'm watching it happen. Like
Yeah.
you
There's
don't
a lot
need
of
to-
people declaring who they are and what
Yeah.
they're ready to do.
Yeah, I found
so and so,
Orm
and I'm gonna do this.
is his half brother's
Orm.
Orm.
Oof, Patrick
Who wants
Is
to
his
be
name
the Ocean Master.
He wants to be as soon as they said Ocean Master, I lost it.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
I felt bad laughing because there's kids in the theater and I don't want to take their enjoyment of the film away from them, but I was definitely laughing when they were like,
Mommy, what's he laughing at?
My dream is to be Ocean Master.
I want to be the Ocean Master. I was like, oh my god. Like, you couldn't have come up with any other title. I found his motivation to be a little
Flimsy?
very flimsy, we'll say, because he's
I
just...
don't know what it was. What
He
was it?
like he threw all I don't know what's
do
the
you
thing.
I don't.
You don't know?
Like,
I literally
He's
don't.
polluted. The earth,
He
the
wants-
oceans are being polluted, guys.
He wants to
Just
attack
out of
the surface
us.
world, and then he throws all the garbage and ships back onto which we'll get into in a
Well, I
second.
tried to turn my brain off.
He
and
no,
enjoy,
he threw all the
so-
garbage, and people are like, "There's garbage! Like, what's going on?" And like they have bad, the news coverage of it, and then they don't get into why Orm is like
That's
attacking
gross.
the surface world. Like I get that there's garbage and there's ships underwater.
So his
but
name's Orm.
Orm. O-R-M.
ORM.
Orm.
Okay.
It's like Norm.
I was like, his motivations
But Orm.
were very suspect for me.
Disgusting.
Didn't care. I thought Nicole
dare you.
Kidman was gonna be
It's
good,
fantastic.
and she showed up, and it was just like flat. Like she brought nothing. She brought absolutely nothing to this
Glorified
movie.
cameo.
They did the
Yeah.
old Ant-Man and the Wasps
Yeah,
Yeah.
reveal
Michelle Pfeiffer.
/
Yeah.
How to Train Your Dragon 2.
oh my god.
You know, they did
I
that.
haven't seen any of those.
Really.
I
Let's just say
know
the
what
exact
you're
same thing
talking
happens.
about.
Yeah.
Yes, he's
Um,
right.
Anyways, I was
Well,
instantly
it's
like,
original.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
I found this movie
Good
very
punch.
unintentionally funny. I found it kind of bad, like you said. I did think
But
that
you
there
enjoyed
were-
it though.
I
Because of that.
enjoyed laughing.
So it's
at
like The
it, I
Room
think.
for you.
It's-
Underwater The Room.
Pretty much. I did think that it was very different than most DC movies, which I kind of appreciated.
Right there with you.
I appreciated their
appreciate
like the marvelization of the movie
Don't use
in
that
a way.
word, though.
Big colors, bright colors, you know, big war style movie to compete with
Yeah.
what's going on in there. I did like some of that stuff. Like at the end of the movie, there's a few like people are standing still after action, and the visuals. I was like, that looks really cool. Like there's
Yeah,
some
last half hour.
yeah,
right?
there's some stuff. Yeah, there's some stuff that I was like, I was watching. I was like, I enjoy watching this like happen, but just everything else in it, the acting, I didn't find that good. The story was muddled.
Like, why the bloat? Why did we need a 2 hour, 25-minute?
I don't understand a lot.
Could
that
we
happened
not
in
have
this movie.
shaved
And Dolph
an hour?
Lundgren's hair
Dolphin Lundgren?
was atrocious. it was literally
I'll be
atrocious.
here all night.
He didn't get the just for men. Like
He needs touch of gray.
he needs. Well, here's the thing: is we all know he doesn't have red hair.
Did he have touch
So-
of red or was it touch of gray?
It was red
It
with
was
a touch
red
of gray.
with a touch of
I
gray.
hated seeing that red hair.
It was so distracting. I couldn't look away from his hair.
But like they're trying to show that he's like
He's older. and
Mira's
Mara's
father, right?
and
So
I understand.
Is
So,
that
yeah.
who he is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
you didn't even get that.
No.
How did you not even get that?
I don't know, man.
Were you
This-
watching
this
the movie? Were you asleep?
My dad won't. My
I
dad
tried.
won't. You know, Dad. Like
Dad,
No.
daughter.
I tried
You're
to
my
watch
daughter. You're my dad. You didn't get that?
And I almost
It's
lost.
just too uninteresting.
The other time I almost lost it was when the Black Manta showed up in Italy.
yeah.
Did
I
you
guess
scream
head.
on Black Manta? What?
Sorry,
Wait, what?
not Black Panther.
No.
we didn't get
Panther?
tired of it. We got Black Manta.
Black Manta.
Just seen his
Manta.
goofy head show up.
Oh,
Oh,
he
yeah.
turns and he's just standing there.
Ant-Man?
I had to cover it up for the kids.
I mean, very comic book accurate.
Very
Very,
correct.
but also goofy.
And I get it because like
Matters.
it's an
Comic book
old
accuracy.
old character, and like that's the style of suit that they had to like go underwater with these big clunky suits. They didn't have like scuba equipment like we have now, so I understand why he's designed like that. But then he pops up, and it's like, oh
We're gonna need a
man,
bigger helmet.
yeah.
His head's really not.
He got
that
a bigger
big.
helmet.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I liked
That was my
I like Yahya
Yeah.
Abdul Mateen the second
What? A,
played Black Manta.
yeah, yeah.
He was
yeah.
yeah.
Go on.
I thought he was good. Like I thought he
Yeah.
had a certain presence,
He did.
right? He wasn't given much.
No.
He
not given
got a
much.
knife. He got a little nice little knife backstory that explains why he's a pirate.
Just a nice.
Son, I was like, oh, he's explaining the knife. I'm like, you're dead.
Yeah, the second the father.
Bye-bye.
Sorry, we're getting to spoilers, but the second that knife was given, dead bud.
Dead.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Check you later,
Spoiler
bud.
alert.
I did like his presence though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump in though. If you don't
Jump in
mind.
the water.
For
Dive
sure.
in.
We got really liked it, hated it, didn't like it,
Didn't like.
didn't
I
like,
can't say hate.
Didn't like it.
didn't like, but funny.
Enjoyed
Unintentionally-
watching it.
Okay,
The first time I will watch it.
Okay.
again.
I think I'm somewhere in between there.
Oh fuck.
But yeah, overall, I thought this film was very fine.
Ooh.
It was not great by any stretch of the means, and it also had some really bad things in it. A lot of things that you guys have already mentioned. The big thing for me that was really bad was the script. Hideous, like you said, and the acting I don't think was bad.
You just didn't.
They were given nothing.
Yeah,
And, yes,
that's fair.
Amber Heard was not great in a couple sequences, but also think about what she has to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right?
That's a
There's
good point.
nothing there.
Yeah, I thought all the acting was bad. Also, I don't know. I just want for the record, I don't know if
I kind of.
They're all great. I think they're all good
Yeah.
actors in their own right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I'm
give them the
agree-
right
I
thing
agree
to
with
work with, right?
If
Right
they had
material to work with.
if they had something that they could that was witty and bounce back and forth.
Just in front of a green screen.
Here's one thing that I was thinking about after I saw this movie was this one thing that DC does not do well is what happens
Make
on the
movies.
screen when there's no action, right? What happens when two characters are talking to each other? What happens, right?
That's you said
Not
it.
good.
Yeah.
Two characters.
Not
talking
good
to
for a
each
DC movie, right?
Yeah.
When you think about like Thor Ragnarok, because we've mentioned it a couple times now, hilarious. Like that's a hilarious movie. Like
Yeah.
when they're
Yeah.
talking, like I almost rather characters just be talking to each other in Thor Ragnarok than actual action. Like I
other.
couldn't,
Right.
I
Yeah.
couldn't even tell you. Like there was a couple action sequences in Ragnarok, but
Yeah, you
I'm thinking about I'm remembering the jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Like that's what Marvel does really well is the comedic aspect of their films, and also, when there's just two characters talking or three or whatever, the dialogue is good. Like it's witty. Like there's a certain cadence to a Marvel film, right? DC, like this film, just wouldn't, like you said.
Yeah.
Not great.
What?
And that leads to some of the performances being pretty wooden as well. And that being said, I'm a sucker for like, worlds, like world building.
I know you
Yeah.
are. I knew you'd love. That
So I like the whole Atlantis thing. I like just seeing that world and seeing these different
shit. I don't disagree.
kings and different races and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of Game of Thrones elements where like they're meeting up, and like it's like Orm meeting up with Nereus, like what's his name,
Willem?
Dolph Lundgren.
What about Willem Dafoe? He looked
Yeah,
really,
Willem Dafoe as
really
Volko.
cool.
He was cool looking, and that's one thing about this film is a lot of it is just cool looking.
Yeah.
Like they have that
Yeah,
going for
I
them.
mean,
Besides
that's
a
something,
black man is goofy looking head.
Yeah.
A lot of
all
it-
goofy.
Goofy looking head.
It's all goofy, but it's all
But here's the thing, like
Cool
think about
somehow.
the classic image of the classic '60s Aquaman on a seahorse,
Yeah.
Yeah.
goofy as
On a
hell, right?
seahorse. Shit.
But I
It wasn't
feel,
the seahorse that bugged me. It was the fact that it was a giant seahorse.
no. But here's the thing: is he rode a giant seahorse in the comics,
Yeah.
but it was a goofy looking giant seahorse,
Yeah.
right? But I like what James Wan did was like, okay, he rides a stupid looking seahorse in the comics, like everyone makes fun of that.
Yeah.
Let's make him ride like it's like a dragon seahorse.
Dragon battle seahorse.
Right, it's like a battle seahorse with armor and shit.
Yeah.
Like how can we make it cool? Like they tried,
Yeah.
So I can't fault them for trying. Although I do like the sharks a little bit better because it's actually like a shark isn't already inherently a badass creature.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas a seahorse is this little dinky like thing.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Sorry, Phil.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
a lot of this film, like visually, like it was cool. Like they tried to make it cool, and
Yeah.
some of it is very green screeny, and it's like that whole sequence in Italy was all green screen, and
Still
they shot
mind
everything
blowing.
on green screen, and they just composited together. I think for that, I think they did a pretty good job. I think it could have looked bad, could have looked really bad
Yeah, it's
underwater. Like think about it. Even think about what they did in was it Justice League or BVS when they had to Mira had to literally create a
Justice
bubble.
League.
It was Justice League.
Yeah.
She had to create a bubble so they could even talk. Like it
Yeah.
did not look good in Justice League when they were underwater.
No.
Like it did not look good.
It didn't.
And I was not hyped for Aquaman because of that. And they made it look decent. They actually explained like, look, if you're Atlantean, you can just talk underwater. Like that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
Perfect.
there's no stupid
Thank
friggin'
God.
speech bubbles that they have to
Yeah.
Thank
walk in.
God.
But yeah, and I really like the trench thing, and we'll get into, more of what happens. Like I like that stuff, like under
Yeah.
the
Indiana
water,
Jones
the
part?
journey to the center of the earth.
Oh yes,
thing.
gotcha. Yeah.
I like that.
Like
and
the
I
Indiana
just-
Jones part, the desert.
Yeah, I'm lost.
No, I'm
Okay.
No,
I'm
he's talking about
the,
towards the end
the
of the
sea under the
film.
sea, if you will.
No, I'm saying, did you like the desert part?
It's okay. I guess it didn't. I was neither.
Very boring.
Didn't love it. It was fine.
Oh, that's
like,
fine.
we've seen it.
Mhm.
We've seen that before. We've seen Indiana Jones.
Get a pissed on it.
But
Yeah,
I
see,
get-
that was funny. Like I saw, like I didn't even think about that,
Yeah.
and so for him to say, like to me, that was some of the dialogue that was better said, but then a lot of it was like Phil said, just like
see, that's like a tier 3 Marvel joke. You
yeah,
know what I mean? That was a tier A
Yeah.
He's
DC
Wet
joke.
Thor, man.
Yeah.
He's Wet Thor. Come on.
he's a less successful Wet Thor.
Anyways, what I liked
don't
about
know
it
about
was
that.
the
No, I mean like story wise, like he's a less successful.
I like the Atlantis like world building and like the lore and like the backstory of like
Yeah.
the former king of Atlantis and like all that like Trident and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm a sucker for that kind of thing. I just want to see more of that. Like honestly, if it wasn't even about Aquaman, it was just like Game of Thrones in Atlantis. Like sign me up for that.
Mm.
Right? I want to see that. But besides that, you know, I did like the one sequence with Nicole Kidman fighting in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie. I thought she was pretty badass in
I thought
that,
the-
in that fight scene.
I really
Okay.
did think the camera was like drew me into that fight, that spin camera. I was like, that's actually pretty cool.
Like I think the one reason why I liked it because of the camera work, and yes, it later becomes tiresome. But that was in the beginning of the movie. That was like one of the first
when you're fresh.
action sequences. So like I was like, okay, this is different,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
I
yeah,
did
it
react
becomes
that way.
tiresome.
Yeah.
But in the very beginning of the film, I liked it. Like I didn't hate Patrick Wilson either as Orm.
I thought I was gonna hate him.
I did too.
Yeah, as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh, I'm just
With
gonna
the man
hate.
bun?
Yeah,
I was like, no.
I
but it
thought-
wasn't even a man bun though.
Well, whatever it was.
It was his hair was just pulled back. Like he didn't. It wasn't even a man bun.
Was there no?
No, it wasn't long. he had short hair.
It's because he
Okay.
was underwater.
Yeah,
so it's,
it seemed like
slick
it was
to his head.
pulled. Yeah.
Anyways, I just thought he knew what he was doing. Like he knew, like it's an inherently like campy role,
Yeah.
right? To
Ocean
just be
Master.
the scorned half brother who wants to be king, and he's just like a little prick
I'll be
just
Ocean
because.
Master.
Which in spoilers we have to talk about.
we'll talk about it, but
Yeah.
I just thought he sort of reveled in that a little bit and just kind of went out there a little bit with his performance, like
Yeah.
all the yelling and I don't know, like I thought it was fun. Like, anyways, but yeah. Besides that, there's not a lot there. There's not a whole lot there. I just think overall, I think it is a step forward for DC. Like, it's no Justice League, it's no BVS. It's better than those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Um,
It's better than those.
I do like Wonder Woman better.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's probably the second best
Yeah.
DC movie.
DC Universe movie.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's
I'm a Man of Steel guy.
passable.
I know it's like very polarizing. I like Man of Steel. For me,
Yeah.
like I'd put it.
I feel like this is on
Over.
par with that. I guess.
Really,
I think Man
Yeah.
of Steel is better than this.
thank you.
I'd have to rewatch.
I think
Man of
it's
Steel.
it's like a good step above this for me.
But they're bringing it back from the whole ensemble thing, just clearly not working for them.
I wanted to say I do appreciate the ideology behind that. I'd rather them just like decide what movie they want to make
and then
and
make,
make that movie
instead of just kind of coming up
To
with it as you
force,
instead
trying to
of
shove it down the
smashing
throat.
everything together. Like, I don't know, the execution wise remains to be seen, but I like the idea of just Aquaman, Shazam, whatever, Joker. Like, I like that they're doing, you know,
go. Individuals.
yeah, isolated movies.
Mhm.
Like, worry about the team up stuff once you get a few good.
Then you can bring them
solos.
together.
Yeah,
It's
then
like they
bring them
tried to
together.
do the opposite of Marvel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
right.
did not work.
And they got the
It didn't make sense.
the
the opposite of their
their outcome. Yeah.
yeah.
exactly.
Well, let's give our ratings and we'll jump into some quick spoiler discussion. I'm going to start off. I'm going to go heavy 2, average.
Heavy 1.
Ooh.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm also stalling because I'm teeter tottering.
Between
Well, speak now.
5
Do
and
you
6?
want me to? give
Yeah.
it-
What are you thinking?
Well,
Speak now.
Okay. If I had to choose now, I
do.
I would
What
say
does your heart say?
I would say it's a 3.5 on Letterboxd.
Wow.
So that's a 3 or a heavy 3.
A 3 or heavy 3, and that's kind of what I was.
Heavy 3.
Yeah.
You could say it.
I see. I don't know.
You could say
I'm
it.
going
Loved it.
3 right now.
3.
Yeah.
Slightly above Ryan.
I gotta
Yeah.
go 2. I'd say. Just
You had more negatives than positives to say.
Yeah, but the
Slightly.
but you know, it was a 0 until
Right.
Yeah.
the half-hour mark.
Half hour left.
Yeah.
It was a
Did
negative.
the Marvel
before I
movies
saw it.
start at a 3.
and they go up.
DC starts at a 0.
Yeah.
It goes down.
They have to build up to
They
that.
gotta fight towards a pass.
Yeah. James
Marvel-
Wan tried his heart out. He tried his little heart
He
out.
tried. Well, fair warning, if you haven't seen
Naked.
Aquaman, you probably have by now. It's doing really good at the box office.
Crushing.
Oh, you've seen
Crushing
it.
at the box office.
Apparently.
Now, before we dive into anything too, I want to clarify
Dive,
something on the actual
really?
acting part of it.
Okay. Yeah.
With
go.
with Amber Heard specifically, I'll say, because that was the one I focused on before. What I'll say is yes, it seemed it did seem a little wooden, and she wasn't given a lot to work with. But I'll give you this: a lot of her scenes were supposed to have a lot of urgency to them. You know,
Is this
there's
spoiler section?
no. Well, I guess
We're
it
in the
can
spoiler
be.
section.
Okay, we're in the spoiler section. But yeah, there's like in a lot of her scenes, there's supposed to be like a certain amount of urgency when she's talking. You know, like when she saves him from the first battle, when she does all the like when that whole flood comes and turns over their truck. Like there's a lot of urgency going on, and you don't get any of it from her. Like she's just
I have a theory.
she's
about
there.
That. Well, that I heard. It's not my theory.
okay. Well, it's just yeah.
It also reminded me of one other thing to bring up.
Okay.
Weekly Planet. I was listening to their review,
Uh-huh.
and they said it seems specifically. It's funny you say that. Seems like Amber Heard was just positioned in front of a green screen and given lines, and she just read them, not knowing like later
Voice.
she'd be composited into like giving a speech to an arena.
Yeah,
So she's just like giving the speech as if it's one-on-one, like you're saying.
that makes sense.
There's like zero urgency because
Yeah.
like there's no direction,
Yeah.
right? And then other people did the same. I think Orm and like other people.
He was giving it though.
He was.
He was giving.
He was screaming.
Yeah, he was like what he was doing what he should have been doing. Him and Momoa, they're like chewing on the scenery.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But then other people like Amber Heard or like Nicole Kidman are like sleepwalking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, what movie are we making here, DC?
Yeah.
I thought you were going balls out, full like underwater.
Like you need to
Star
just go
Wars.
full camp. Like just
Full camp.
Just understand what
Lean
you're
in.
doing. Yeah. Lean into it. Yeah.
Which I don't think they really did. Everyone's saying they did. I didn't think they went hard enough.
I agree with you. Mostly, I think
The
that
movie.
I agree with what you said earlier. Like how the first 2/3 of the film they weren't
Yeah.
leaning into it,
No,
Right.
if you will.
Enough.
The last third they did though. They leaned
We talking
leaned
about
into
it?
it. We can talk about it. There's one thing I wanted to mention that you reminded me of, a little bit unrelated, but every scene where they're talking with exposition ends with someone or something exploding through the wall at them.
Oh my god. Weekly Planet also said that.
Like,
Yes.
like literally, it like they're in the
Shut
midst of
up.
conversation, and then boom!
Yeah.
Like they get attacked.
Something happened.
The
yeah.
wall explodes.
There's no downtime for these people.
No, but there's
Nothing
no
going.
like, oh, let's make a plan. Oh, let's go do the plan.
Yeah.
And they go to do the plan. It's like their plans get,
They're-
upended by
We
an
should
explosion.
do the plan and then just boom, the plan comes to them.
Exactly. The
Yes.
plan comes to them. That's a good way of putting it. But yeah, we can talk about the end. I do want to mention now that we're in spoilers. Is it Julie Andrews
Yeah.
played
Yeah.
a giant leviathan in the depths?
That was Julie Andrews?
Yes.
didn't
I
tell
knew
you?
the voice was familiar, but I didn't know it was Julie
I
Andrews.
thought I told you that.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
Oh,
it's a 5 now. Oh.
well,
You probably thought it was
might
Angela
be.
Lansbury.
Both of them are just fantastic.
I
Um,
mean,
I love the whole, again, I love the lore of that and how, I forget his name, but the original king of Atlantis, Atlan had like the trident, and just that whole badass moment of him being able to speak with this Leviathan, but also use that to bring the Leviathan to the battle that's happening.
Mhm.
And honestly, I forget what the battle is about. I guess it's Orm versus everyone else. What's it?
He's
The fishmongers or the fishermen?
Right,
He's taking
or they
over all
go to
the
attack
kingdoms.
The fishermen
the
were-
Brine King.
The
They're attacking
that's
Brian
it.
King.
That was it. That was it.
The Brine King,
Yeah.
played by John Rhys Davies.
Shit!
Yeah, but
The Brine King. Yeah, he
the Brine
refused-
King, the crab, the crustaceans.
Yeah,
Yes.
they refused to join him, so
So then
Orm
battle
decides
ensues,
they must die.
Yeah. And then be cooked.
and then
Loved all that.
yeah,
They were throwing the fire, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Literally throwing the fire.
Oh, I saw.
those giant
That's my favorite
crustaceans were. I
That's
mean,
what I
I
liked.
love that battle scene. I was like,
It's
this is what I
amazing.
wanted. This is literally
This is it.
why I came here.
Can we talk about the suit? I love
The
suit.
original?
Yeah.
Just that shot. That's the poster.
Fuck
Of him
me.
just like, yeah,
That's
dropping
what
the trident and
that's why-
pauses. I'm like,
That's what they were selling me on. I'm like, oh, they did lean into it. They went like full campy weird.
At the end when he beats Orm and he's like got the trident, like whatever like swing motion he had it in, he was like still for a second.
it was like a badass comic book.
I was like, this
Yeah.
looks fucking
Frame?
sick.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yes.
It's
I
like
would,
Watchmen.
I was like, I would literally
Yeah.
read this if this was a comic book. I'd be like, I want to get that and flip
It's funny
through
because it's like infamously bad suit,
it. Yeah,
and they like lean into it, and it looks great.
Looks
like it's
unbelievable.
better than like any other suit he's worn, like the green scale suit in Justice League,
yeah.
or like a crab shell armor that he had at one point. Like this suit is amazing with the gold trident. It's like
Yeah.
fucking amazing when he pulls up, like with the Leviathan and on the dragon seahorse, like you said, and charges into the laser head sharks. And they get intercepted by the crab army launching lava.
I think my rating just went down.
I just went up. Not the only thing.
Yeah, it was pretty.
I enjoyed that scene quite a bit.
Yeah.
For sure.
I want to see it in 4K. Like it's just gonna be eye melting.
Just
I saw it in
skip the
3D
first 2
IMAX.
hours.
Oh,
Did you-
see, you know what?
Did you guys see it in IMAX?
I
or
saw
3D or
regular.
anything?
I saw regular
I
IMAX.
saw
3D.
3D IMAX.
3D.
I was.
I
Because
thought
I
it
had
was
glasses
good.
on my glasses.
Yeah, I had
so,
glasses. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. I thought it
I
was.
thought that
it-
helped.
Yeah.
The visuals.
It was
I
man.
thought the
Very
Ocean
bright.
Master fight was decent, like the one-on-one.
Don't call it that.
It was, it was decent. Sorry.
Ocean.
So
Master
this is
fight.
quite the tangent, but we can talk about this after.
We can get tangential.
But this isn't even Aquaman. They played the Godzilla King of Monsters trailer
Okay.
in 3D IMAX.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
In the
And?
theater. I'm not gonna lie, fucking blew my mind. We'll talk about that later. Anyways, Aquaman. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about specifically?
How Aquaman was defeated and no longer has the right to the throne because he lost and then ran away and then came back with just a more powerful trident and beat him.
Okay.
I thought that was cool.
I thought it was kind of cheap, in my opinion. Like they both had
But that-
even tridents. We'll
Did he
say.
lose?
He used the Willem Dafoe
There's no.
move.
It's like the.
No, I'm talking about the first fight.
Yeah, second fight.
No,
The first
Oh.
fight he lost, but his trident was broken, and then by getting
Did he lose? They didn't explain the rules.
he kind of
well, he would have died then. Like
Yeah.
if he hadn't run, he would have died, and so he lost.
He ran away, but he got
But he didn't die.
the gold trident, which supersedes the Ocean Master fight,
Yeah,
and makes him the true king, irrespective of if
Because he
ran
has
away.
the
Because
trident.
he has the trident.
which wouldn't have existed.
but they
like,
still fought.
they still fought,
Because-
and like they both had equal tridents then, and he lost, and he would have been killed then if he hadn't fled.
Did that bother you in Black Panther when it happened?
A little bit,
Yeah. Okay.
a little bit.
So you're saying he should have died there, and the movie should have ended?
I'm just saying that I don't think I would have done the fight. Like I've done like a fight that drastic that early on,
Here's a
but
bigger
it
argument.
did work though.
Why would this advanced civilization have a mechanism in which you can just fight for rule of it
Yeah.
in a fight?
Mhm.
Does that mean you're the best person for the job?
Yeah.
Just because you kill the person who, like, that's pretty archaic, right? If you think about it.
Yeah.
If we're gonna get,
We're just gonna get 2 forks and battle to death.
Yeah.
Let's just
mean,
regress technology back. How long?
That's true.
Yeah, it's a little Black Panther-y, right?
Yeah.
But it's a little bit like you have this advanced civilization, and you're gonna fight to
Mhm.
be king. Like, really?
Well, here's the thing: is like Black Panther
Can't elect
technically was defeated. Like he was defeated. He was stabbed multiple times and was thrown off a cliff.
He
So
was murdered.
he was murdered. Like
Essentially.
to that extent, like he was thrown off, and he actually had to fight back to gain back that. But in this, he just ran away.
Does he run?
I think Mara,
He escapes.
I think
He
Mara
gets saved by
encourages him.
Yeah.
Oof.
So are you really the true king?
Yeah.
I didn't even.
Not a
I
bad
forgot about
point.
that.
Mhm.
See, I didn't worry.
Bloodline wise, he is no.
Like, if you look at the plot, yeah, it can be a little bit convoluted, but like, you just gotta forget. Just turn your brain off. Just
Had he just
click
had?
it.
How about this? Had he been defeated
flip the switch.
and thrown into the
Brian
trench?
Addy.
Shout out.
How would you guys have felt about that?
Sorry.
If he had been defeated and then instead of like being killed but then escaped, if he was defeated and then thrown
sentenced to the trench.
sentenced to the trench, where then he would have gotten the trident, met his mom, stuff like that.
Would I have to see
That's a
Black
better
Manta
movie.
in the rest of that movie?
No.
Technically, no.
So I wouldn't have seen him in his hilarious black suit with the giant head.
Would it shave 40 minutes off the
Yes.
movie? Then 5 out of 5.
What
Sir.
do you think, Scott? Would you have liked
Yeah.
that more?
You pulled a 10.
Yeah, I mean, what I would have liked
What
more
about
is,
the movie?
is sort of touching on what you guys mentioned earlier. Like, you mentioned how you didn't like anything above water, which I agree.
Pretty.
I
yeah,
just
no, I
want
didn't.
more Atlantis stuff, more of that,
Mhm.
more focus on that,
Yeah.
and I would have been more invested. And if they went full camp,
Mm-hmm.
I would be more into it.
Thank you.
Just
Sure.
on that.
I think a major problem I have is that earlier you were like, oh, when two characters are talking, there's no like meat there, and like in Marvel movies you have that experience.
Yeah.
I think that's why I don't like this DC universe so much, is because DC is built off that like dark two characters talking, interesting storyline. Like that whole Batman,
Like the comic.
the comics.
Yeah.
That's what they're built. The whole Batman thing is like he doesn't he believes if who watches the Watchers, if they're watching the universe, and
Yeah.
what if one of them goes evil?
Contingency plan.
Can something happen to them?
Always.
And like that's such a dark, interesting concept, and like they kind of like they don't lean into it enough, and they kind of like half do it, and then it just looks terrible
Mhm.
because you didn't fully commit to this idea.
Everyone talks
And
in
I-
green screen rain.
I feel like
That's
that's.
the only time they talk.
I feel like this was such a Marvelization, and I don't know if that's good or bad for the DC. You know,
Well, when you
say
said
good
that
thing.
word earlier, I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
like
I
it's
don't know if it's good or
It's more
bad.
Marvel.
It's kind of
not-
gross,
it is, but
isn't
then
it?
it's like,
It's
is
not
it?
DC anymore.
Can it
Yeah.
be like a DC thing if you're like making these quirky jokes? Like, oh, I should have pissed on it. Like,
But DC
You-
has
you know
this
what I-
formula for them, and clearly it has not been working.
But I don't think that's the problem.
DC can be funny. DC comics can be
Yeah.
funny.
But they
It's
just choose not to be.
No,
they-
the comics.
Oh,
Are
sorry.
funny.
Okay, the comics. Sorry.
But they can be dark or funny, but you have to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is, like, they're making dark movies that were bad. And they're like, well, we can't make them dark. That's why they're bad. No, they're bad because they're bad. It's not because
Yeah.
they're dark.
Mm-hmm.
Now they, like, oversaturate, like, color blast every movie. Like,
Did you get sick in the last 30 seconds?
Yeah. I've had bronchitis.
I
for,
just
like,
think
6
think
months.
of the perfect example of
I'm done.
DC done correctly. Obviously, Dark Knight, but there's specifically the scene where the Joker is confronting all the criminal underworlds, and he makes the pencil disappear,
Yeah.
the pen disappear in
Yeah.
the guy's head. Like that's a perfect example of how DC can be very funny,
Yeah.
also very dark at the exact same time.
Yes.
Like that's perfect. That's perfect
Microcosm?
DC.
Yeah, like he shoved a
Okay.
pencil through a guy's face.
Hilarious.
Yeah,
PG-13.
yeah.
Very effective.
Funny.
Didn't need to
And they
see
didn't even
blood.
show the pencil.
Yeah.
Like they didn't even do that, but it worked.
Yeah, and that's what.
and they took a concept and ran
That's
with
what-
it. So I
yeah.
don't think they've ran with a concept like that.
Yeah.
Since this
They
was-
jogged
and
in this. Thought they jogged.
They
with
did
it.
the interval training, and
They
they
sprinted
heard
at
the
points.
beep, and they were like, "Oh, we gotta do
gotta
something
speed
now
up
for the
here.
last half hour." Oh, there's
Last-
a movie on. Oh,
They sprinted in that last half.
Well,
hour.
I think
One
You got
last
one
thing.
more thing?
One more thing.
I think
just
Taz,
think it
one
was,
more thing.
I just think it was funny how they
Okay,
how they
fall
mentioned
I just think
Pinocchio
it's funny.
twice.
they mentioned Pinocchio twice
Twice.
with how he like goes in the whale.
Yeah.
And all that
Pinocchio.
stuff.
And then later, like, this is a book. You got this from a book, really? But it's just funny because, like, they've used that already. But they've used Pinocchio already, but in a Marvel film owned by Disney.
Right,
So I thought that was kind of funny.
hilarious. Well, that'll do it for our review of Aquaman. Phil, where can people find you?
People can find me on Letterboxd at Wicked Swami. I'm on
Wicked
there.
Swami.
Swami.
Tyler?
You can find us on Facebook and on Instagram at Up Real Late Podcast. You can also find me on Letterboxd sometimes at Up Real Time.
At no time.
You can find me on Twitter at Franny25 and Instagram and Letterboxd at UpRealAdam.
Find myself, Scott, on Letterboxd at UpRealScott. And yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like on it. Leave a comment below in the comment section if you want to join our discussion. And, of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already.
Ding.
And as always, keep it real.